Hello, my name is Yama of Yama Bonsai and welcome to the Bonsai Academy. So last time we talked about this tree and we also worked on this tree as well, but that was a year ago and we uploaded this video not so long ago. This is a tree that quite has some emotional value to me because this was an important tree in Japan together with its brother that I showed you before, and because of circumstances some branches and the apex died off. When I saw this tree, it reminded me of the Monterey cypresses in Los Angeles, where they grow in the wild and they have beautiful shaped pads or foliage clouds in nature. And I wanted to represent this image. So that's what I've done. Now we can do the next step. Unfortunately, I'm not always at home and I travel a lot for bonsai work. So the first step to do on this tree is that we need to remove the weeds. And then I also can explain the other steps what we need to do on this tree. So it's important to remove the weeds because otherwise they will take up the fertilizer and the water that's necessary for the tree actually. So it's very important to remove them with the roots as well. Also another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to repot this tree on a very beautiful two-component made rock by Joseph Raucher. They look very natural with oxides in it and they get patina when they stay outside, so that's quite interesting as well. So while I'm removing the weeds, I'm going to explain what we'll be doing today. Because this is a tree that for me looked like the Monterey cypresses in Los Angeles, I wanted to show that same image of a tree that's on a mountain with the live vein here, deadwood here, with a cascading branch over here. And that's very important. So the next step on the tree to do is we need to open up these foliage clouds again. Some parts still need to grow, like this one needs to get bigger and needs to grow a little bit more here. But we need to cut some places back and we need to remove growth that's coming or growing down. And we need to remove old foliage because this is the healthy growth, and in the interior we have growth with very small buds, not really buds, but they don't grow anymore and they take a lot of energy. So that's important to remove actually. Also, some gins we bend it a little bit down, and I think because of the weather and the moist, we can remove the wire and they will stay in position because this one was high up there and now you see that it stayed in position because of this. So that's quite important as well, okay? What we did last time is we bended this branch a little bit more down because it was a little bit up. So it cracked a little bit over here and that was just fine. Also because I let it grow and give it a lot of fertilizer, you see that the live vein is thickening here, what's quite important, and is also getting a little bit bigger here. So that's important as well. We have some berries as well, and these berries we can remove because they will take some energy as well. So when I'm finished with doing the weeds, I will clean this tree out and I will explain you why and how I'm going to do that. And then afterwards we are going to clean the deadwood because we have algae, and if we don't clean, the deadwood will rot away and that would be a shame as well. Then we're also going to apply some lime sulfur, so we're going to clean it with water. Then when the wood is still moist, we use some lime sulfur with a little bit of water inside of it, so it will go into the wood, so it will go into these grains, and then we get a very beautiful white color that matches with the trunk. I am not going to clean the live vein. Sometimes it's a trend to do and sometimes it suits very well with the foliage and the deadwood to show a very reddish kind of bark. But with this tree I like it to keep it more natural. And also in future, now I'm going to open it up and let it look like a very dynamic tree. But in future I want to clean it a little bit less so we can create a very natural kind of bunjing styling on this tree, and that's quite important. cleaned most of the weeds out of it because they will take a lot of water off the tree and fertilizer as well. So we're also going to repot this tree as well. So I didn't remove everything for the moment from the weeds because after repotting we will get rid of them anyway, okay? Now it's important to clean it up so we will have a nice structure of the branches. So as I told you before, we started with the first branch and we used alternating branches. And while we're doing that from the beginning, we need to use that also in our secondary and tertiary branches. So that means that we need to clean this out. But also means that we already have our structure. So I'm going to remove all the unnecessary foliage, and that means every branch, so you have your branch that grows here and that's wooden. Every single bit of foliage that grows down, I'm going to remove. So that means I'm going to remove here, 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 and here, okay? But there's also a branch coming up here because you need to have volume. And from that branch, I'm going to remove also everything that's growing down, okay? But we will show that in a close-up so you can learn from it, okay? So also, I will show you that we have some foliage in the interior side as well. That's a little bit yellowish, and that foliage we can remove also. And then our growth in there also needs to be alternating. And also foliage that is a little bit weaker we will remove as well. And it's very important, as I said, to remove the foliage that's growing down to get a very clean, beautiful structure. And then afterwards we can cut the foliage that's growing out of our silhouette. So like this one, like this one, like this one, so we can create this shape again. Also, we have some flowers in it, female flowers, and we can remove these as well. That's also very important to do. So energy can go to the right places. Also in the junctions we need to clean the foliage, so air and light can go into the branches. And then here we have a bit of a branch that's growing down and it's quite floppy. So with a small wire we can lift that up so we will have a beautiful foliage cloud again. So we're going to wire a little bit here and there. But very minimal. We have cleaned the deadwood, that all the algae are gone and that the deadwood is a little bit moist so that our lime sulfur, what protects the deadwood, will drain into this deadwood. So it will give the tree or the deadwood a very beautiful white color, and it protects the deadwood as well against natural circumstances like the algae, so that the deadwood will not rot, moist, etc. So I used a little bit of water, or I have put a little bit of water in this lime sulfur, because then it will not look too white, because it still needs to look natural. In nature this happens as well, because rocks fall on trees, or animals eat from the trees, or different kinds of things that can happen. And the sun bleaches the wood and gives it a nice gray-white kind of color to it. So now we're going to apply it. We always start from the top and work our way to the bottom. Also, if you attach newly dead wood by removing some bark, etc., this will not immediately give the same color as dead wood that already was dead for some time. So then you can use some white paint and add it with the lime sulfur as well to give the same color. Also be careful that you don't touch the live vein. It's no problem, but otherwise you will see some white on that one as well. So also get a towel to remove when you spill a little bit. And also be careful that lime sulfur will not go into your soil, because we also use this with a lot of water as a fungicide. So in winter you can use lime sulfur to get rid of animals or pests and diseases like fungus, etc. It's very important that you go in every corner, in every small piece, so every tiny bit will be covered. Has a little bit of a scent, it smells a little bit like rotten eggs. So we have cleaned our dead wood, we have put lime sulfur on it to give a nice feeling or a nice aesthetic feeling with the live veins and the foliage. So it looks like an old tree in nature, and that was bleached by the sun. Here and there we still have some dark spots, and we're going to add a little bit of lime sulfur, a little bit to those spots a little bit later on. So now it can dry in a little bit. Now it's time to think about what we're going to put this tree in. And this tree is a very good tree and would already suit in a regular beautiful bungent pot, like lotus kind of style, would be very beautiful because this tree is dramatic enough. But I already have a few like that, and also because this tree reminded me about the cypresses in the United States or America. I wanted to make a composition with a slab or with a rock. So first I thought I'm going to use one of these slabs of USA for Alker. But for instance, I found this one with a beautiful structure, but as you can see, it's a little bit too small for this tree. Then I found a little bit a bigger one, and this could be a beautiful option, as you can see. So this would be quite beautiful, and this would look like an image of what I have seen there. So that could be an interesting option. But then in my garden I saw a very beautiful ibigawa rock. There was Aspergillanum planted on it, and they were not quite special. So I thought I could make a much more beautiful and more special composition with the rock that I'm going to use. And I can show you. I already prepared this rock as well. So I have this beautiful ibigawa rock. So if you can see, I already prepared it with wires. I used two components. So two components is like a kind of a clay. It's this one is Japanese. You can find this in our rock shop as well. And these are two clay kind of things that you can, so you can take a little bit of this one and the same amount of this one. This has a darker color and a whiter color. You can add this together, and then when you have the same color, lightly gray, you can put it on your rock to attach your wires. As you can see, it's steady. But they also use this for healing some wounds. So if you have a wound on a maple or a big Burgianum or trident, if you say so, and it's quite hollow, then you need to take all the rotten wood out of it, and you can put this on top of it, a little bit behind where your wound is going to heal. Then you make a cut in your wound, or you scratch a little bit the bark off and put wound paste on it, and then your wound can heal completely until it's closed. Okay. This is better, you see. Now we can add the keto, and we also can think about the composition. So I'm going to use this beautiful Japanese accent plant for here. Then I'm thinking about using this tiny cottony aster to add it to here, to give it a nice feeling that it's wandering over there. And then I'm thinking about using some Ophiophogon to put here as well, and here in the back. And then maybe I have these ferns, and maybe this grass that I can use. And with this we will make a beautiful composition. And then later we can apply moss for a beautiful finishing touch. So this we are going to put here. Let me check what's the most beautiful. I think we have made quite a convincing piece of art and natural design. I can turn it now. Here we have put some water in, what looks quite nice as well. The Ophiophogon still needs to grow. These are quite mature but can grow a little bit as well. Here is some Ophiophogon that needs to grow, and we can thin this out a little bit later. Here we can, in future when it's all settled, we can thin that out as well, to create a more natural feeling, like wind is going through it as well, like the tree. So I'm now going to turn it around so you can have an idea of how it looks. In future, with this tree, we're going to add some more accent plants. We didn't have enough moss, so here I left some spots, unfortunately, here as well. So after shooting this movie, I'm going to apply and search some moss as well in the forest. But I think our composition doesn't look too bad. Now the tree is going into the greenhouse, where there's a little bit more heat and also a little bit more moisture. So because the juniper lives from the foliage, so I can mist it every day a little bit, and then the tree can grow into this keto ball. So it will stay on this rock for quite some time, and maybe one day I will put it on a pot, I don't know, we will see. But at the moment I'm quite satisfied with how it looks. See you until the next time, guys. I hope we made an interesting video for you guys, and we will see you until the next episode.